Diggs is the 12th episode of the 25th season of The Simpsons, directed by Mike Frank Polcino, and this is one of those episodes where I thought it was okay. It could have been a lot better, but I still applaud what they were trying to do, I think. Bart meets a new friend at school. This is a character called Diggs, voiced by Daniel Radcliffe, and it becomes apparent that Diggs has some mental health conditions, and I thought, okay, are they going to be sensitive about this? And I think they approached it in a way that worked very well. I don't want to say too much about what happens with the character, but I think they made it quite clear that some people can have some negative attitudes, but that's not acceptable. And that's largely in the way Bart responded to the bullies. There's a scene where the bullies are making fun, and I think the way that that scene played out showed that it's not cool. It's not cool to make fun of somebody with any kind of mental health issues. But to be honest, I didn't find the character of Diggs to be that interesting. I did to begin with, and I was quite curious to see where they'd go with his character, but I found him not very interesting, which is a bit of a shame because I think the character could have been so fascinating, and because the character wasn't interesting, and it was very much driven by the character rather than the events, apart from one or two small things, I just I didn't really care for it. Like, it was fine, it was okay, it wasn't boring, I don't think it was in bad taste, but I just think it could have been so much more engaging, so much more moving, so much more thought provoking. It was just a little bit flat, and that's a shame because I think it had a lot of potential. Obviously, great that Daniel Radcliffe voices in this, that's pretty awesome, but the actual narrative itself, it was more sensitive than I'd perhaps initially feared, and I really appreciate that, but it just wasn't as engaging as it could have been. And also, I think the whole Falcon aspect, it was definitely included to give Diggs perhaps a quirky personality, something that was unexpected, and it was fun to begin with, but I think it wore off really quickly as well. So it was fine, it was okay. I really didn't care too much for it. I wouldn't mind watching it again. I certainly wouldn't skip it if I was watching season 25 again, but I probably wouldn't choose it. It's not making my list of top 100 episodes. I will do that list one day. But it's okay. Diggs is a decent episode. I appreciate them tackling mental illness, but I feel like it could have just been a much better story. I think there are other ways they could have done this, and what we had was maybe slightly above average, but it could have been better.